What is one thing in your life that you cannot live without? Some people would say the obvious, like food, water, clothes on their back, and a roof over their head. Others would say that they can't live without their family, their friends, their pets. Others might say money, or some people might say a phone. I think that if you're over the age of maybe 40, that a phone is probably something you depend on and it's a large necessity of your life. We all know what a phone is, what it can do, and the power it holds. We all carry them around in our pockets, we all keep them in sight. So where did this idea originate? Where did the idea that we need to have these little communication boxes in our pockets and hands at every second and at all times come from? Every piece of technology today has evolved and came from a smaller idea of that same technology. Who was the last person you texted? What did you say? Where are they right now? How long did it take that text to send? How far away are they from you? One of the biggest ideas of technology that has evolved tremendously even in the past 5 years is the phone. It came from the telegraph, invented by Samuel Morse in the 1800s. It's what started the idea of the phone today. Up until that point, there was not really any sort of long-distance, efficient type of communication you could use. Before the telegraph, the only way to communicate over long distances was basically through smoke signals or if you could train a pigeon to send your letters. The telegraph was a big deal. It was used by lots of people with lots of different jobs and through lots of businesses as well. As of today, most of us in the modern world use a cell phone. Some people have multiple phones, a work phone, a home phone. We can use it for lots of different reasons, and we all socialize and communicate with the people around us or even people thousands of miles away. Isn't that crazy? We went from only being able to use pigeons to send us letters, and now we can communicate with people from different countries and different parts of the world. The telegraph played a huge role in that, because before the telegraph, there was no way of doing this type of communication through vast distances to eventually whoever you wanted, whenever you wanted. Obviously, there were steps taken in between the telegraph and telephone, but this was the first sign of the idea. The telegraph was more than an invention. It brought people together to use this piece of technology to communicate with one another. They didn't have to write letters and use smoke signals anymore. It was more convenient and a big step for groups all over the country and all over the world. The speed of a message getting to and from one place to another was drastically increased when the telegraph performed. Think about it now. You send a text, you hit the button, it says delivered. Seconds, not even. You don't have to wait for somebody to get your message 10 minutes later or even 10 days. You could get your words through to someone much faster than before. Nowadays, the longest part of sending a message is figuring out what to say, and with the click of a button, it's sent. Think about what the phone looked like 5 years ago, 10 years ago. The first iPhone wasn't even released until 2007. Nowadays, we have AI on Snapchat, and we have so many ways of communicating with people other than just text messaging and calling even. Even to think about what the iPhone 4 looked like to the iPhone 14 Pro Max Plus now. The need to communicate in general has gone up, all starting with the telegraph and its purpose and characteristics. The telegraph made it easier in that time period, just like the phone has made communication in our time period much more than easy. The amount of people who had the telegraph is much different from the number of people who carry phones with them now. Maybe people were intimidated about the idea that the telegraph could send those messages from that long of a distance and in that time frame, just like some people are intimidated by the idea of phones and the power they hold today. Although the telegraph was used in common in Europe, it wasn't as common in other countries and wasn't used often or as much in other places. Culture changed, communication changed, the way people thought about communication changed, and the way people think about communication changes even every single day now. The next time you make a phone call or send a text, send the telegraph and Samuel Morse a thank you.